What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the I Love You Goodbye podcast. I am Sam, and in this episode, I have the insatiable, the infamous Kerry Townsend. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
Just a second ago, you were talking about how you asked me if I remember the first time that we ever met. Do you remember the first time we ever met?
I don't remember the first time we met.
No?
I don't. I'm getting up there in age, I should say.
Dude, I don't. Well, you're talking to a man with epilepsy. My head's all over the place. But I do remember. I think I remember the first time that I saw you. I don't remember the first time that we met. The first time that I saw you was in a tire shop. You used to work at a tire shop, right?
I used to work for Goodyear. Yes.
Goodyear.
Mm-hmm.
And you were working the front desk. You seemed like a very happy, outgoing guy.
Thank you. Yes.
I mean,
I try to portray that, no matter who I'm seeing. Yes.
well, but I think the first time that we met was here at church. Right now today we're at Heritage Church in Baxter, Minnesota. You're on the media team here, and I see you I think almost every Sunday behind a camera.
Yes, I want to get linked into what's going on with the church and what the worship team is doing, and I had an opportunity to audition in a sense, on the tech team. Never did lights or overheads or worked the camera before in my life, but I thought it would be a fun opportunity to see what it had to offer. So I'm so blessed to be a part of this team because our worship team is just phenomenal. I believe that we all have something to offer in our own little ways. So I think this is my way of giving back.
I ask the same question to everybody that I have on here, and I will ask you today.
Sure.
It's a tough one. Who is Kerry Townsend?
That's a great question. Who is Kerry Townsend? As I was growing up, I was a person who always felt like an outcast. And it seemed like I always had a strike against me. I felt that people looked at me differently than they would somebody of a normal height. Now, maybe that could be a complex for me, but I think that was something that always wanted me to strive to do better, per se. My two other brothers, they lived a different lifestyle than I did. I remember at a very young age, I think I was like 14, my brothers were having a party downstairs in our basement because my mom went to work, and they invited me downstairs with their friends just to kind of partake, and I always wanted to fit into something, and I knew right away that that's something that I didn't feel comfortable with. I decided that, living in Illinois, I wanted to do something on my own, so I ventured out to Minnesota, and people ask me to this day, why Minnesota? And I keep telling them I just ran out of gas. So,
I think that's what everybody says.
yeah. In the cold winters, that's what happens. The cars start to stall out. And
car wreck or something.
Yep, exactly. I was hanging out with a group of friends that I still call friends today. They took me under their wings, even though that began the second strike for me. I'm up in Brainerd, Minnesota, one being short, one being black. But these people that took me in, they showed me that not all people are like this, or a certain way. I found a family up here that I could actually call a family. I was dating a person for 4 years, and this person asked me if I wanted to marry her. Without thinking, I just jumped at that opportunity to say yes, because I wanted that status of being somebody special, being a Mr. Townsend, being a married man.
Mm-hmm. And fitting with someone.
Fitting
somewhere.
Correct. And as time grew older with that, we ended up having 3 beautiful kids. And I just realized that I wasn't truly in love with her. I loved her, but I wasn't truly in love with her. Not feeling happy and having my kids knew that I wasn't happy, and my wife at the time knew that I wasn't happy, but so I decided to file for the divorce. The hardest decision I've ever made, and I took full responsibility of it. At that point in time, my ex-wife right now, she was just livid with me. She didn't understand what was going on, and how could you do such a terrible thing to me? But something deep inside said that, hey, Kerry, you need to be happy as well. At this point in time, we have a mending relationship. The kids get along with mom, the kids get along with and I even get along with mom. So after a lot of talk, a lot of discussion, I seem to be in a happier place. But during that time of the divorce, I decided that I'm gonna drink a little. I need to find a way to kind of mend myself, which I found out that wasn't the answer. And a very dear friend of mine, she told me about Heritage Church. She asked me to join her one Sunday, and it seemed like after I sat down in my pew, it seemed like she had a conversation with the pastor, because everything that the pastor was saying was relating to me in a sense. It seemed like the whole sermon was focused on me, and I just wept that whole service. And ever since then, I've been going back, and I realized that I needed to give myself to Christ. That was in 2008 when I started coming to Heritage Church. I think 2010, 2011 was when I got baptized. And ever since then, I just felt like a new person. Felt like I had something to live for. That thought of not fitting in wasn't as heavy on my mind as it was in the past. I started hanging around with more godly people, which was more welcoming. I feel at peace. I feel that I have a sense of belonging. I don't feel that somebody's staring at me for the wrong reasons. Yes, I do have kids at the church today that still just look at me, and it makes me happy because I just turn around with a big smile and start grinning and making goofy faces towards them, and then I see a smile on their faces, so it just warms my heart. So I think God is showing me a different purpose in life, and what it truly means to be a son of God. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell of who is Kerry Townsend. I know that I am striving for finding another soulmate sometime down the line, but I still have to focus on myself. The person that I do find, it's going to be a godly woman. And I think Pastor Heath said this one of his sermons before, that think of this as a ladder, a tall ladder, and I got my soulmate on one side, I'm on the other side, and our purpose is to reach God in the same way, in the same level. And that always sticks with me. That's been one of my, wow, wouldn't that be glorious? So
climbing together,
yes, and that's what it's all about for me right now. I just love who I am right now, and
a lot of people can't say that.
Well, they should. I think they should, but
but you know what I mean.
I think
a lot of people have a hard time being able to say that.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think
that's a beautiful thing to be able to say.
Yes. So. Thank you. I think God has put me in a position to just, I don't know, bring light. Bring light into the darkness, in a sense.
And I'm wondering, what do you think some of the things are that that have brought you to be in a place where you love where you are right now?
Have you ever, I'm going to ask you a question in a sense,
Sure.
been in a situation where you felt that there was something for you, but you didn't know what it was? I've always felt that there was something for me. There was always something for me. And as I was growing up, because of my stature, that I've had 3 back surgeries. And after that second surgery, there was some complications, going through a lot of pain and going through, okay, I can't do this because it's going to affect the way I feel, but I want to be involved with other people doing these certain activities. I've always felt depressed. I went through a stage of depression where I had to see a therapist, and just not too recently, I stopped seeing that person, thinking that, okay, I think I'm where I can get by without this person. And she's still in the back burner of my mind that, I probably can't do this by myself. And it's okay to seek help when needed. And I've always felt that, my way is not always the correct way, in a sense. I know that after coming to church, after coming to Heritage and seeing a whole different perspective on things, do I still have issues with feeling worth self-doubt sometimes? Yes, I think that's just human nature. But I know that now I see that there's a purpose for me. I'm starting to see that as much pain as I go through, a lot of times I'm putting on this mask because I don't want other people to see me hurting, because I don't want them to feel bad about my situation. And I think a lot of that has to do with prayer. The more I seek God, the better off I am. Even though, there's a lot of pain, even though there's a lot of tears and just feeling bad about myself, I know that there's another side of this. There's been times where I wanted to give up. There's been a time in my life that, the word suicide came across my head more than once, because I felt like I didn't have nothing to offer anybody. I felt like I wasn't going to get anything out of this, but there was always a tap on my shoulder, that God was saying that, hey, there is something for you, and I will show you. And I'm still to this day a very impatient person, and I that's one of the things that I struggle with, that I have to learn is in due timing. One of the things that was very hard for me is, not worrying about what other people think about me or what they say about me. It's just, Kerry, you know who you are, and you know where you want to be. And the only way that you can get there is with the help of God and godly people around you. And I say this a lot, that I am so blessed to be around godly people, because I think that this is what I need right now. I still have to work on myself every day.
Absolutely.
I still struggle, but I know that there's an outcome. There's an end piece to this, and I'm going to be happy with that end piece. Yep, I really am.
I think I've probably said it in every episode of this, but I say it all the time. My wife is probably sick of me saying it. I know that she's started saying. She's told me she started saying it now, but I'll say it now. You're no good to anyone if you're no good to yourself. You have people in your life who will pour into you, and then you have people in your life that the moment that you're around them, you're going to be pouring into them. And if you don't take time to be poured into, you're never going to be able to pour into the people around that need to be poured into.
Correct.
And I had a conversation recently with someone about help, and they were talking to me about how needing help is humiliating. And after working, I worked in group homes, and I have epilepsy, and I know what it's like to need help, and I know what it's like to be the person giving help. And there's something to learn from being the person giving help, and there's something to learn from being the person getting help. Going into a job like working at a nursing home, people tend to have an attitude towards you like, you're going to learn something in this job. Kind of like a but it's interesting because you get into that job and really quick you realize that the people that you are serving, that they've learned a lot more being in that position than they ever did prior to that.
Right.
Like being in a position where you need service is extremely, you learn a lot quick. The first seizure that I ever had, I was immediately put in a bed for, I can't remember if it was close to 2 weeks, and hooked up to all sorts of things and not able to move, and every time that I have a seizure, it's immediately like, I'm not doing anything. Like,
Right.
You're done. Needing help shouldn't be a humiliating thing. The fact that when you have help, that's a beautiful thing. In life, we give and we receive, and that's how we grow, and that's how we learn things. Giving and receiving and getting help and giving help is how we build our capacity.
Absolutely.
In life.
Yeah.
And if in the moment that you decide or the moment that we try to decide to stop, life kicks us in the nuts and says, no, you're going to.
Right.
And it's going to hurt now because you decided to just stop.
I know that I had a point in time in my life that it was very hard for me to receive help. I've always been that person who wanted to help others in any capacity that I could. But if it came to a point where I needed to ask for help, I wouldn't do it. I would suffer through it, but I would not ask for help. And it took me a long time to grab that concept of, asking for help doesn't make you a bad person.
Or a weak person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not.
Right. It's just that in this situation that you need help with this and this person could probably help you. I've learned to turn the other cheek with that, and I don't overextend that. Hey, I need help. Hey, I need help. Hey, I need help.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you still have to work on it yourself in a sense, but
you got to grow.
You got to grow, and if there's somebody out there that is willing to help you and not look for anything, in return, that's amazing. I've had happy people, hey, I will help you if you could do this.
No.
Not the kind of help I'm looking for.
No.
That's
ultimatums.
Yeah, correct.
Or blackmail, basically.
Yes. Help me drive the getaway car if I help you with this.
When that hurts the worst is when it's family. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'll help you if you, It's like, what?
And so
thanks,
now,
cuz, but
yeah, exactly.
I'll see you Christmas or when the next person dies. Like, go away.
Thinking about my brother right now. Like, okay. We won't go in that one. That's a different episode. No, I love my brother. I really do. I do. But yeah, it's hard to ask for help, but sometimes it's okay. And then one day you'll find yourself helping others and where they wouldn't actually ask for the help, but you're just showing blessings, and that's what it's all about.
I think we've talked enough about struggles and woof. I'm really curious to hear about some of the joys in your life, and we've talked a little bit. You've brushed over a lot of good things, a lot of things that you love to do. But I want to hear about some of the joys that you've had in life and some of the things that have brought you joy in life. Because I think that you've got a few. I think that you've got more than a few.
I don't know if I can come up with anything. Being a part of something that has a bigger outcome, ministering. Ministering, to me, I always thought that it was missionary work or something like that. But prime example is my tech team. I always call it my tech team. It's my team, but it's not my team. But it's a team that I love to be a part of. I love how I don't even know what the word to use. How important it is to me to have that ministry grow. Say, for instance, if I'm doing camera, well, it's part of my job to make sure that the people that are on live feed are able to see this and get the great captions to be able to want to see it again. And maybe one day, if they're not able to stay at home to see it, they can come in and actually be a part of the worship. That's one of my biggest enjoyments of life. I volunteer for Lakeside Pregnancy Support Center. I love that program, and before I was hired there, I had to give my testimony in a sense, and why I wanted to be in that program. And I'm just so happy that I'm able to see men succeed or become a better father or a better parent. And one of the things that I've learned from that is that when the dads come into the program, they are just as nervous as I am trying to love on them. So, and what I mean by that, it's like they don't know they don't know what to expect. One of the things that I taught to them is that, we are a godly based program, and my job and my most important job, and I don't even think of it as a job, is that I'm just going to love on you, and I'm going to listen to you. I will definitely advocate for you. What I allow myself to do, if it's okay with them, is to pray for them. And after each session, that last closing 10 minutes, I will pray for them. Sometimes I feel that, wow, am I doing everything correctly because I'm not getting the response? And it just happened to be one day that one of my clients said to me, and he was a person that wasn't in the church, but he said to me, and it just made me feel that I'm doing my job, that Kerry, after each session that we have, I feel my spirituality growing and growing each day. And I just kind of wept my eye a little bit because I was making a difference in that guy's life. I was changing his sights in a sense. Yeah. And that after that session, I went to my boss and just cried on her because the fact that, I think I am making a difference, and God has shown me in different ways that with this program, yes, I am making a difference. And another part is that young kids nowadays, and when I'm talking about young kids, I'm talking about the 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds that are seeking Christ or going to church, and one of the joys that I love is that, not to be, I don't know, political or anything like that, but they are our futures, and what's it going to look like when I'm older, knowing that that these young kids nowadays are just coming into a place where they're making a huge impact. There's a few of the kids that will give me a high five as we roll into church or leaving church or something like that, and it makes me happy because they're happy. They don't see me as this person of short stature or this person of color. They see me as, oh, it's a cool kid. I like him. That a cool kid. Yeah, they call. Sometimes I can still get called a kid. Yeah. It's just I just love seeing joy on younger people's faces. That means a lot to me. What also brings joy is that I know that I'm putting God first, and I think what I'm doing also is that I have two of my other kids that are not going to church as much because maybe they do down in the cities, but I don't see them as often. But I know that they are following me with my post and what I have to say, and I know that I am still planting that seed somewhere inside them that one day it's gonna happen. My joy is just impacting others in any positive kind of way I can. I'm a simple man. I love my life and I love where I'm at. I still have room to grow. I still have some flaws that I have to work on myself.
How dare you?
I know. I shouldn't be this way, I really shouldn't, I tell you. But I love my life right now, Sam. I think that I'm at a place where I'm very, very content. I want to be Kerry. I want people to like, if you hear the name Kerry, you smile.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Oh, Kerry Townsend? Smile.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want.
Dude.
Yes.
Mission accomplished, dude.
Thank you. I'm hoping so. Sometimes I don't feel like that.
I mean, it's working. Just so you know, it is working. And always think back to that and think back to the smiles. Because what you're doing here is making a difference. And what you're doing in life is making a difference. And those fathers that you are connecting with and helping them grow and challenging them to be better fathers, or first-time fathers.
Yes, scary.
Yeah, dude, it's intimidating. I can't speak for myself. I've never been a father, but I've been the son of multiple fathers, and they were scared,
right?
And no, they need people like you. They need people that'll make them smile, and they need people that'll pray for them, and don't doubt that. That's good. So what you're doing is good, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Just in general, from what you've got going on in your life, or what you've had going on in your life in the past, both in the positive and in the negative, what's a kind of like a golden nugget, a solid Kerry chunk.
The Kerry chunk. Okay. I believe that it would have to be with, and we all have this, is also the not knowing. The Kerry chunk would be take life with a grain of salt. It's not going to be easy. Life is not easy. It's not. Take on your fears. Be okay with yourself. I think you got to love yourself before you love anybody else or anything else. And knowing that if you put God first, and no matter what you do or what struggles, or just pray, that you'll see a different change. And I really didn't see that until after I started coming to church. And I didn't know where my life was going to be if I didn't go to church. I think maybe I would be down the wrong path right now. I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. For me, at least, is to put God first. To me, this is what helped me. Will it help you? I'm pretty sure it will. I have no doubt that it will. Will it be in a different timing aspect than others? Yes. But just knowing that there is a better tomorrow, and just love yourself. You know, people might trash you, thrash you, make you feel unworthy, but just knowing that, you know, you are above that is that was one of my hardest things, that I am above this, and I got something else to look forward to. I think that's my Kerry's chunk. You know?
Kerry's chunk.
That's Kerry's chunk.
I don't know where it came up with Kerry's chunk, man.
It makes me feel a little bit bigger, you know, in the gut area.
I appreciate you very much, man. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Sam, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time. I think that's all we got time for, though. I think that's all you got time for.
I think so.
You're a busy man.
Yes. My phone's been buzzing on my wrist right now, so.
Oh, geez.
You know,
well, we got to get you out of here.
It's okay.
Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a great one.
I appreciate you.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening in. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. To be notified on future episodes, feel free to subscribe and stay connected. To find more of my content, like blog posts, video bits from these episodes, or you just want to feed me an idea, feel free to visit samnorwood.com. Again, thank you for listening, and as always, remember to learn from the past, live in the present, and pray for the future. I am Sam, and I love you. Goodbye.